Next segment, I'm going to show you how to do the eucalyptus. Now, this is my Flower Pro wedding foliage mold. So this one mold will actually make 3 different varieties of eucalyptus. So the one I'm going to show you is called the baby blue one, which is this slight heart-shaped one. There is also silver dollar eucalyptus, where there are 4 sizes, and seeded eucalyptus and a little seed. This also has on it English boxwood, Italian ruscus, and also the dusty miller leaf, which these are all very, very popular all wedding foliages. And there is a YouTube I have on my Flower Pro, which actually shows you how to make the other varieties of eucalyptus and also the other leaves as well. Now with the mold here, we're going to use this, so we're going to take number 5, number 6 small, and number 6 balls of paste. I use 3 parts blue and 1 part green, plus a little gray. So what I actually did there is I've used some of the Renshaw blue and Renshaw green flower modeling paste or gum paste. And then what I've done is you mix that together. So I've got like 30 grams of blue and 10 grams of green. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio, all right? And then I've added a little tiny bit of the Rainbow Dust Pro Gel Gray to just give it a little bit of a gray sort of sagey color. But you could also, if you don't have pre-colored paste, you just want to make it like almost like a sagey green color here. So you see it's like I've got a little bit of gray in there. So you could use like a juniper green, you could use a little bit of gray, a little bit of blue and gray, and a little tiny bit of green. Now when we measure the balls of paste, so these will be the paste we need. So we've got number 5, that's regular size, number 6 small, that goes through the number 6 hole, and then regular number 6, just like I showed earlier on the fern segment. So we're going to take this, and when we make the ferns, I'm going to up the eucalyptus just a bit like the ferns, but a little bit different. But this is like I made the larger fern. So we're going to use, these are the 3 cavities. I'm going to show you the largest leaf, all right? So again, just a little tiny bit of vegetable shortening goes into the cavities, like this, all right? And you're going to take your paste. So I'm going to show you the largest ones first. So remember, condition your paste, and then we're going to take that, I'm going to place this into the paste. I'm going to use my cosmetic sponge, I'm going to press it down, you see? And then using your cosmetic sponge, we work it to the edge of the leaf. And this is where Flower Pro gives you very realistic looking leaves, and they're nice and thin on the edge because the edge of the molds are thin, and so you generally are going to use this concept. Now here we're actually going to establish a ridge. So you can use your fingers like this, all right? Just to establish like a little tiny ridge. When you're doing the smaller leaves, you can also use your nick stick or your companion tool just to sort of establish like a little ridge. So this really emulates similar to what a groove board will do. Now here we're using quarter length 28 gauge white wire, and I definitely, as I would recommend, white wire here. Remember, if I'm not specific about the color of the wire, it doesn't matter, like on the ferns, but here you want to use white wire because you've got a paler color. A little bit of egg white on your wire, and you see then you're just going to use the little channel, and you're just going to push the wire into the little channel so it goes about halfway into the leaf. And you see the channel is on all of my Flower Pro foliage and petals. Makes it really, really easy. There's no way you can go to the right, left, get wonky or whatever. It's going to be perfect. Now you can either use the back of the poinsettia vania, or something else you can use is the back of the hydrangea I used in my earlier episode on Cake Flicks Live for the hydrangea back. So when you've got the little nipple here in the middle, so you just would literally just make sure that you position that so that goes above the top like that, and you're going to get the nice veining onto the back. Or as I said, on the ones I've actually done here, I've used the poinsettia. So whichever you have, and that would just give you your veining onto your leaf. But just if it's not right in the middle, you can just repress that onto there. But as I said, this works really well, all right? So you see again, now when you take these out, all of these, you turn them over, and then just using your little scraper, you see how you're just going to remove these from, and you'll have your beautiful veining for the eucalyptus. Now, I'm just going to take my little companion tool. I'm just going to just push up the paste there. So obviously you get this nice base to it. And then you're going to either use the back of your pad, the little mini pad. So this is my Nicholas Lodge pad, but if you have any foam pad, or you can also even do this onto your finger. You're going to use the shaft of the companion tool. And if you're doing it onto the pad, you actually hold the shaft at an angle like this, and just going to do a gentle rolling around the edge. You can alternatively use, of course, a balling tool, which is a classic way as well. Just soften very, very slightly. So that's done on the back of the leaf, and then on the front side, which has got the raised veining, the main veining, we're going to use the companion tool and just going to pinch the very, very base of the leaf around the companion tool. All right? And again, you're going to take the leaves And then these leaves would just be put into your convoluted foam. So I've got obviously these already. You're just going to place the leaves into the convoluted foam like that. You can see this is the one that's done with the hydrangea back, and then this is the one that I'm showing you here. So it's just a little bit slightly different veining, all right? So anyway, so you just would continue. So again, you can make any combination of those leaves, and they're just going to be put to one side to dry. But normally I just pop this into my food dehydrator that I showed in my last episode with the cookies, 115 degrees or 46 centigrade. Just put it in on the foam, put them in there for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, they'll be totally dry. Now, once you've got the leaves made, we're going to then move on to take, here I've got 3 22 gauge wires, doesn't matter if it's green or white here, and you're going to use either grey floral tape or white floral tape. Now, floral tape comes in lots of colours, in pink, in yellow, and this is a grey floral tape. So we're actually going to tape down the 3 wires to make the stem. Just going to break that off, okay, like so. And so we're on step number here on the number 3. So then we're going to take a number 2 ball of paste. So we're going to take a number 2 size ball of paste, which I've already pre-measured. A number 2 size ball of paste. Again, just going to touch your finger onto here. Going to roll this into a little sausage. All right, and this wants to be, this sausage wants to be about 5 millimeters in length. All right, so it wants to be about 5 millimeters long. And make the little sausage about 5 millimeters long, like this. All right, so quite tiny, so about 5 millimeters. And then you're just going to take a little bit of egg white, just on one end of the wire. You're going to brush a little bit of egg white onto the end of the wire, like this. And then you're just going to push the wire into the little sausage. So you're going to put this into the little sausage, like this, okay? And then you're just going to mold this down with your fingers. I'm using a little bit of corn flour on my fingers here. This wants to be about 15 millimeters long, and the sausage wants to be almost about half out the other end of the wire. So your sausage is about 15 millimeters long, okay? So about 15 millimeters long, which is just 15 millimeters is about 5/8 of an inch, all right? And as you can see, but about 7.5 of that millimeters of that is going to be past the end of the wire. And then what I do is take a pair of scissors. So with a pair of scissors here now, I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm just going to make a vertical cut down the middle of this. All right, so I'm going to cut this like, it looks a bit like a little lobster claw, crab claw, and you're just going to pinch that with your fingers, like so. So flatten these. And then you see how what this is going to do, because you push this back together, and this is going to give you like the new growth on the end of the leaf, all right? So it's going to give you that like new growth on the end of the leaf. And then you would take, what you're actually going to do here is you're going to make a number 5. This is would be a small leaf, which would be a number 5 size. So you're just going to use this just like you would make your small wired leaves. So a number 5 size piece of paste. Going to pop this into here like so. Just going to press this on. Okay. Just push up with your wire there, and then you're going to use whatever you've used for the wired ones. You're going to put the back veiner on there. And then you're just going to take this out. So using this technique works really well. And then what we're going to do here is using some scissors. We're going to then, this is going to be just trimmed to make it like the shape of almost like a little butterfly wings. So what I'm going to do here is going to take the leaf, I'm just going to trim around with my scissors. So we're just going to actually just cut like this, so they become like almost like little, you can see like little butterfly wings, all right? Like almost like the top part of a heart. And then all I'm going to do here is going to again soften these slightly, so you can just soften these. You can also, when you're doing the small leaves, you can actually use the other end of the companion tool. So you can just go around like we would traditional softening technique. Just soften around just a little bit. And then we're going to pop this onto the, as I said, cosmetic sponge. Then I will take a little bit of egg white, and I'm going to brush a little bit of egg white just underneath. So literally, as I said, underneath where the other leaves are. I'm going to put the little bit of egg white just here underneath where the 15 millimeter sausage finished. And then we're going to put this on. I'm just going to pop this on with a little bit of egg white, like so. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pinch it and you're going to move it around. So you see how it becomes like almost like two, so that like the two little tiny leaves, okay? Just make sure that one opens up. But you see how you just sort of open these up like two little tiny leaves, all right? Like this. So you just sort of squash it on and you're just going to squash it round like this and see how this will give you the little tiny leaves at the top here, all right? And so that's sort of how you would do that part, and then you let everything dry. So you let everything dry. So this one is obviously one I made earlier, so it's already dry. And also with the variety I'm showing you, this is compact or baby blue or spiral eucalyptus. So sometimes the leaves go in pairs symmetrically and they're all like in a row, and then other times, like almost like a helter-skelter, it goes round in a spiral. Now, once you've got all the components made, next thing is going to be to actually do the taping of these. So we're going to tape this and we're going to use quarter width gray or white floral tape, all right? So remember, this is the gray floral tape, so I've cut this with my tape cutter. And so you're literally going to now start taping. So remember, you start and then you're just going to slide the floral tape up to meet. So you see the floral tape will come up to the bottom of the wire, come down about 2.5 centimeters, about an inch, all right? So literally, as I said, you just just go around, start off, because you can't start the tape here. So you always start off and then you see you just slide the floral tape. So you see the floral tape is like a tube and it just slides up to the bottom. And we're using quarter width tape for this part, so they're not too bulky. So now I'm going to just separate the leaves. So you have your small leaves, your medium leaves, and your large leaves. There we go. So then once you have your leaves completed, we're going to then put these together. And so when you assemble them, we're going to just bend them just very slightly at a slight angle, just a little tiny bit down the wire, like this. And then we're going to start with the half-width grey tape or white tape. Now remember, if you can't get grey tape, just use white, and then when you dust this, you'll see on the instructions. But see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one as a spiral one. So I'm actually coming around like almost like a helter-skelter. All right, you're going around like a spiral or a candy cane. So you see how you're actually going to do this. So I'm going to spiral the first 4 leaves. So you see how they're actually going to be spiraled like this. And then I'm going to come down and then I'm going to add in the leaves here. So this will be then so I'm going to put in 2 medium-sized leaves. These will actually go in directly where the other ones sort of finish. So these will go in now in sort of pairs. But also sometimes the eucalyptus, the pairs will be sort of almost in a line, and in other times they're going to be sort of like, as I said, almost like on the spiral varieties, because there's like actually literally hundreds of varieties of eucalyptus and gum. Remember, this is just one of the three ones that are on the wedding foliage mold, all right? So it's a beautiful addition to your flower repertoire or foliage repertoire to have obviously a mold, and you can make obviously the 6 different leaves from that one mold. So I'm just going to pop that. I'm just going to come down here, and you're just going to finish where your wires naturally finish, all right? So this is going to be how you would do the how we do the eucalyptus. So for the coloring in your instructions, it says dust with some blue with a little pearl. Now the thing is, I don't want to have sort of really bright blue, so I want almost this sort of like petrol sort of blue color. So what it is, I just use a little bit of blue and a little bit of eucalyptus or gray. So you're almost making like that sort of gray blue color. But you know, so it depends what dust you have, and I've added a little tiny bit of pearl dust to that. So basically you're just going to make almost like a pearlescent, and you're going to just brush some of that into the middle of the leaf. You can see I'm showing you here on the back. So you're just going to put some of that almost like in the which I've already done some of the leaves. So you see in the center of the leaf, front and back, on all of the leaves, you're going to have that color. Okay, then I'm going to use eucalyptus. So this is going to be eucalyptus dust. So I'm going to just take a little bit of eucalyptus. But as I said, this is a good color to use. You can use this mixed with the blue if your blue is a bit bright. And then you're just going to go around the outside of the leaf. So you're just literally going to just come around the outside of the leaves with the... So what this is going to do is just going to give you like a tonal color, because we of course have the nice sort of sagey color with the eucalyptus. Now remember also that eucalyptus varies a lot in color. If you actually watch my other two YouTubes on the other types of eucalyptus, you'll see how each of them I did a slightly different color. But this one is a little bit more, slightly more with the bluey color onto there. So you've got the eucalyptus around. Then we're going to take some pale chocolate. So this is chocolate brown here, where I've used corn flour or cornstarch. And what that does is going to basically lighten the whole effect of that. So I'm going to put just a little tiny bit of brown here, of the brown. So you see the brown is quite strong. So you would use the pale brown here. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the pale brown. So you could also just do this on a napkin and add just a little bit of corn flour, cornstarch to it. I'm just going to put just a little touch of the pale brown just at the base of the leaves here, like so. All right, you just repeat that on all of the leaves and just on the inside as well. So just going to have a little bit of pale brown here. So just going to put just a little bit of brown just in the base of the leaves here. And then if you were using white floral tape, what you then do is you take some of your gray dust, okay? If you don't have gray, use the eucalyptus, but then you just dust over the white floral tape down to as far as you're going to see the tape. And then, of course, that would then change the color of the stem. And then once you've got your dusting completed, and generally I always dust on a napkin, and then what I do is then you never take straight from the pot either. And again, just like on the ferns, we're going to then steam to set the color, okay? So we're just going to just do this to set the color, because just like ferns, the eucalyptus leaves are not really shiny, okay? And then they're going to obviously, so this is just going to steam. And you can see here on the, this just also shows here on the mold there, but you can see how this is actually a hoop I made for a wedding cake, where I actually made it with all the 6 foliage. So it really is beautiful, even just to combine those all together in one sort of just using foliage. Because a lot of brides now, carry, succulents or foliage, and so you don't always have to have flowers, all right? So fabulous foliage can be really, really nice to do as well. And again, you can see this one, I did a little bit more symmetrical, all right? So you can see this one, I've done it in pairs. This one here, I've done more of the spiral type. You see, just to show you really the 2 ways you can use that one cavity.